Welcome back to another automation breakdown where we break down automated solutions for your business needs. I'm your host, Chris. There is no point in creating an automated solution like a Power App where you have multiple background data sources tied to it, where you need to manually share each one of these contents with your varying users. For instance, if one of your users needs access to this app, they need to both go over to the three dots, click on share and share with their varying users, as well as giving access to each one of these different SharePoint lists. Go into the SharePoint list, click on the share button. Not only do you need to give access to the app, but you need to give access to the background data source. I've already gone over how to automate access to a Power App in this video, whereas in today's video, I will go over how to automate access to your SharePoint lists. So if that sounds good, let's get into it.
So let's do this thing!
The first thing we need to go over is the three different background data sources that we need to give access to our users. In this case, this is our multi-level approval form. I'm going to go to edit data. Here we go. You're inside the multi-level approval background data source. I also have my active employee roster right here, edit data. Now I am inside of my, wait for it, active employee roster. Here we go. And then finally, my active position report right here, edit data. And there you go. The first thing we're going to do is log into Power Automate, go over to Create, and for the purposes of today, I'm just going to use Instant Cloudflow, and we're going to manually trigger this. Let's go ahead and give our flow a name. In today's video, I will be using the manually trigger a flow. I will be making another video on how to create a user access database as well. So, hit the subscribe button. Let's go ahead and click on our trigger, and then manually trigger a flow. And I'm going to add an input. This will be a text input. And I'm going to say email. I will do that again and add an input, and I will say text, and this will be our status. Right after the trigger, our first action is going to be ensuring the user that we have the contents of the user within our database. So I'm going to click the plus icon, and we are going to send an HTTP request to SharePoint. And you'll see that right underneath SharePoint, send an HTTP request to SharePoint. Now, if you are like me and you're using your personal folder to create your Microsoft lists, all you need to do is go over to the URL and copy all of that. And Power Automate's expectation for the site address is either going to be from your company SharePoint lists, or again, if you're using your personal folder, you can paste in the URL right there. And now you've satisfied what Power Automate is looking for in the site address. Next, the method that we're going to use is post. We're going to post this information inside of our database. Inside of the URI, we're going to say underscore API slash web slash ensure user. In the advanced parameters, let's click the drop down here, and I'm going to click both on headers and on body, and then click away, and you'll see both of these labels appear. For headers, we're going to type in accept, and then enter a value. We are going to type in application/JSON OData equals verbose. And we'll add another row for content type, and literally the same thing, application/JSON OData equals verbose. Now, inside of the body, this is where things can get a little tricky. You can enter in a open curly bracket. I'm going to give a couple of spaces there and close our curly bracket. Now, within this curly bracket, here's what we're going to type in. Inside of double quotes, we're going to say log on name. Make sure that name is capitalized. The N in name is capitalized. Add in a colon. And after the colon, we'll add in two more double quotes. And within those double quotes, we will say I:0, $, F, and then membership within the straight lines. After this line, I'm going over to our dynamic content, and I'm going to use see more, and we'll use the email that we created from our manually trigger a flow. This email will be the user's email that you're trying to give access to. I'm then going to retitle this send an HTTP request to SharePoint to ensure user. After we've ensured our user, I'm going to go over to control, and I'm going to add in a condition. On the true side, I will be showing you how to give access to SharePoint lists, versus on the false side, I will be taking away access. So this value will come from our status from our manually trigger a flow and is equal to, and we'll say give access. If that's true, we're going to, again, give them access. If it's not true, we're going to take away their access. Now we're going to do this again, and I'm going to load in another send an HTTP request. Once again, underneath SharePoint, send an HTTP request to SharePoint. Let's add that in. And again, let's add in our site address. The method, once again, is going to be post. Inside of the URI, let's type in the following: underscore API slash web slash lists slash get by title, and we'll open up a parentheses. Now, inside of single quotes, we need the name of the SharePoint list. For instance, this is my active position report Microsoft list. Now, what you can do is just copy the name here. However, if this has gone through edits and maybe you've gone through some name changes along the way, click into settings, list settings, and make sure to grab the actual name of this list, which is right here. Sometimes they will differ. So again, just double check your work. Great. So active position reports, and let's close out the parentheses. We'll add in another forward slash role assignments, forward slash add role assignments, and we are going to open up another parentheses. Principal ID is equal to, and now let's go into our expression, and we're going to say the following. Click on dynamic content. We'll say body, and this is the body of the ensure user step, question mark, square brackets, single quote, and D. After the closing square bracket, question mark, another square bracket, single quotes, and capital I, lowercase d for the ID. Let's go ahead and add, comma, role DEF ID is equal to, equal sign, and then we'll close out the parentheses. Right after the equal sign and right before the parentheses, we need to define what the user's role ID will be to govern the background data source. 10737418826. This is the user choice of read access only. The users will only be able to read the data inside of the SharePoint list. Change the last number from a 6 to a 7. This is going to be contribute. So our users can now contribute to the background data source. I've now changed the last three numbers from 827 to 830. This is going to allow the user for edit access. So now they'll be able to not just contribute to it, but they will be able to edit different items as well. And the last three digits I've changed from 830 to 829. This is now full control. They now can edit, share, add columns, pretty much do anything else for full control access within that Microsoft list. Personally, I default to 827. This is contribute, giving our users contribute access where they can edit previous items and be able to add new items. Again, this is kind of my default for just a general user. That's it for the URI. Let's go over to advanced parameters. Now we're going to add in headers. And much like before, we are going to say accept and application slash JSON semicolon OData equals verbose. I'm just going to copy this action. We will right click on the plus icon here and paste an action. The next SharePoint list inside of the list settings, this is our multi-level approval SharePoint list. Let me copy the name directly from the settings, and let me change the active position report. Let me paste that in here, multi-level approval. Again, it's literally the same thing here. I'm going to copy this action one more time, right click, paste an action, and then my active employee roster, once again, go to list settings, and then I'm going to copy the name directly from the settings. And then over multi-level approval, let me delete this out and paste in our new active employee roster name within the URI. That's pretty much it for giving access. Now let's switch gears and take away access. The URI is so similar to giving access that I'm just going to copy this action, right click and paste within the false section. And again, we're clicked within the false section. And right here inside the URI where we say add role assignments, I'm going to delete out add and we're going to say remove role assignment. Once again, I'm going to copy this action, right click onto the plus icon and paste. We're not adding role assignments, we are removing. And then finally, back onto our third add role assignment, I'm going to copy this action, right click on the plus icon, paste an action, changing add role assignment to remove role assignment. Let's go ahead and save this and test it out. Clicking on test, let's go ahead and perform a manual test, and let's click on test at the bottom. Inside the manually trigger a flow, because we opened up those text inputs, now it's asking us for our email and our status. And I've got peter.parker at thecooliabrand.onmicrosoft.com. And if you remember, our status for giving access is give access. So let's go ahead and run the flow. Great, you see all of the checkboxes right here. Ensure a user. Let's go ahead and show raw output. And we've got body and we've got ID from the section of D. So we're essentially putting in the ID. Back inside the SharePoint list, let's go to our settings, list settings, and under permissions and management, you'll see permissions for this list. Let's go ahead and click on that. And you will see myself, Chris Freeman, I have full control because I am the owner of this SharePoint list. And you see Peter Parker has contribute access. Much the same inside of multi-level approval. Let's go over to our settings, list settings, permissions for this list. And again, you'll see Peter Parker within our permission list. Once again, I'm going to test this flow with John Smith at thecooliabrand.onmicrosoft.com and give access. We will go ahead, run the flow with all of the green lights along the way. I'm back inside the permissions of the SharePoint list. Let me refresh the page. And now you see Johnny added to this permissions of the SharePoint list. This time I'm adding in Peter Parker and the status is going to be take access. So let's go ahead and run the flow. Green lights all the way. Let's go into the SharePoint list and see the permission list. And let's refresh the page and you will see Peter Parker's name, well, not there anymore. You see myself, Chris Freeman, and you see Johnny. Both have permissions. Peter Parker was taken away because he did not hit the like button. See what happens when you make me mad? I take your permissions away from you. But that's the extent of this video. We've now given our users access to multiple data sources all in one go. Thank you guys so much for all of the subscribers as well as all the comments. I love to hear your thoughts below. It also helps out the algorithm. But if you connect this to an employee roster, now you're talking about true hands-off permissions giving to your new users and those who are leaving your company. Let me know your thoughts below. Like always, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video.